Over how I set up my 500, and to start with, these stupid pitch gauges, the little slider has a lot of slop in there. I got two little pieces of like 600 grit sandpaper I kind of glued in there with Elmer's or something, but too much slop. Okay, so instead of using a swash leveler, I did a whole setup like this with the blades in line, level the pitch gauge like this, and then put link to the main grip right over the servo and perpendicular to the frame, and check the pitch here. And since we're at the beginning of the setup, we'll do the same thing with this blade. Rotate it back around, check the pitch here, make sure they're identical. Matter of fact, it's best to make sure they're the same with the gauge hanging underneath, because the way this shape, it actually works better hanging underneath it on top. But for setup, it works fine like this. So I get both the blades the same in this position, and that's 0 degrees at mid stick, and then put this radius arm right in line with that servo. Zero. Turn the blade right to here. Check it here. And at each point, I'm just lightly rocking the blade like this to see how much variation I have, which shows me how much slop's in the servo, etc. Servo, swash, whatever. But the difference would be your midpoint, and you want it to be 0. So then we come around, do the same thing here. 0. Working off the same blade, don't want to switch blades. Lined up here. Make sure you're 0 here. The whole way around. If you have to make any adjustments, go around again. Make sure that you got 0 when you zero out your gauge here and turn the blade to here. Zero here, turn the blade here. You kind of get the idea. All the whole way around, 360 degrees, and each point rock the blade. Then do the same thing, but do your min-max pitch and make sure it's the same. If you end up with more pitch, say over this one servo, when you go max pitch than the other ones, then there's a possibility this horn is a tiny bit high, giving you more positive throw. In that case, you would lengthen this rod, come back to the mid-stick 0 setup, and just lower this back down through your trim and your V-bar. This, of course, this is Micro Beast. Lower this back down until you have 0 again, and recheck. But this helicopter, whenever I do that, the whole way around is 0. Even just rocking the blades might be plus or minus 0.3, and then at max pitch I get plus 13.5 at all 3 points. And whenever you're checking the max pitch, you're going to 0 it out with the blades level, and then throw max. Zero it out, and then throw max at each point. I get next to nothing whenever I do a trim mode flight on my helicopter with the V-bar, and matter of fact, I just flat out quit because it's not necessary if you're that close. And this Beast X performs better than my V-bar, hands down. I will never buy another V-bar. That Beast X just works, and that's it. Well, anyways, that's the setup I use. No swash leveler. Assemble everything, level everything, going by the blades. zeroing them out here, and then checking the pitch here, checking the pitch here, 0 here, checking the pitch here. So if you can get your max pitch, min-max pitch the same, and 0 there, you know your geometry right here, which is what the trim flight is supposed to compensate for. You know your geometry is about perfect, and your trim flight's going to come with pretty much nothing whenever you do it. As long as you have your head speed high enough and your gain set so it's not wandering all over the place, your trim flight's not going to show squat. So anyways, give that a try, see how it works. Later, man.